Yeah. What's up, man? Yeah, man. We up. Yeah, my name is A.C. Moses, also known as King Bobalouie.
All right, I want to talk about just the origin of the Bloods once again. Give me your take on how and when the Blood Alliance came about.
Early 1974, started in YTS. I happened to be there for a hot one. And there were several other people that were there that were also Bloods from different neighborhoods. I say they was enemies of the Crips, but you know, they got in there undetected and people had started saying the same language. They all, majority of the blacks was usually, majority of the blacks in YTS was Crips, so that the word cuz, that was their allegiance, that was kind of like tied them together. But it wasn't really particularly something that offended nobody else. You know, cuz was just kind of like accepted as a, you know, their choice of word, but it didn't offend anyone at that time. And a lot of people, even though they were not Crips, were trying to say Blood as though they were Crips so that they would be accepted because the Crips were so predominantly, they were dominating the yards. Each building had majority of blacks were all Crips, and at that time they were all tied together and united, and there was no separation amongst them. And you know, every now and then they get wild, buck wild. You know, and discover someone there that's from a conflicting neighborhood, and they were kind of like making pay for not being a Crip. And sometimes there'll be people that be getting beat up and jumped on have mutual homeboys there, but they be in hiding, and they'll watch them, they'll witness them, their own homeboy getting beat up and jumped and stomped down and everything, and like they act natural, like it didn't affect them in no form or fashion. And you know, I encountered that situation with a lot of people. I've witnessed people do that, and just later on address me about who I am, and at that time when they do decide to address me, they be really close to going home, to where you know it makes common sense not to get in no trouble when you're about to make parole, you know. And before you know it, they tell me they was a homie all the time. And then, you know, a few of those people that came and approached me with that same type of bullshit, I recognized when I was behind the gate, looking through the gate, I recognized people getting jumped on, and that same person that approached me watched that person get taken advantage of and stomped down and everything else. And he didn't do anything to offer his help or support.
Well, when did you meet Ray Boyce, and how did y'all meet?
I met Ray Boyce prior to him going to YTS, YA. I met him, Ray Boyce, personally, I'd say in 72, maybe 71.
On the streets?
Yeah. Then also, I used to run with one of Ray Boyce's older homeboys named Charlie Percy and Oliver Pee Wee Jones. When I was going to Locke High School, me and Charlie became real tight. And Charlie was a stocky, dark-skinned guy, and he liked to take a whole lot of pills. He'd take them red devils at the time, they called them Storms back in the day. But he and I and Oliver Pee Wee Jones, we got real tight. And I used to go in the projects with him. And He had a brother named Butch, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But I used to go to parties with him. I used to see him, Ray Boyce. I used to see Ray Boyce all the time. I met Tommy Clark. I met, Frankie Bull. Uh, the Barker brothers, Black Bruce Barnum, Gary Barnum, the twins, Dennis and Bernard. I've met quite a few people that stayed in the projects. And through them, I used to always encounter Ray Boyce's presence sometimes, just being in there. He always was like, a well-respected person. But I think Charlie Percy had a little bit of edge on it, though.
You caught your murder in 72?
Yes.
And you got convicted?
Yes, that's what it is.
Now, was there a blood alliance when you was arrested?
Of course not.
So now when you locked up and you fighting the Crips and other dudes was afraid to claim, like you said, it took pain to claim.
Exactly.
Now how is blood forming on the streets? How does this happen?
Well, actually, we networked it in prison, and as we became, kind of unified. It just wasn't the gang members. There was a lot of people that was considered off brands. That's a name given to us by the Crips. If you weren't a Crip, you were off brand. So therefore, a lot of people took that and became affiliated by that. You know what I'm saying? And then they never came back in their life. But when they seen that I had the heart to represent myself, no matter how outnumbered I were, they offered their support. And that's during the time, like I said, when everybody was like using that word cuz to escape being noticed, to camouflage themselves. And it really didn't matter. It wasn't really a serious question. If you could act like a Crip, you get away from being a Crip. Because there were so many Crips in there. They were only focusing on those who weren't Crips. And if you pretended to be one, nobody ever questioned you because they didn't have sections. You know what I mean? It's a lot of Crips plus now that they didn't have back then. You understand what I'm saying? And so there wasn't really no question about, is that your homie? So do you know so-and-so? If you was a Crip, all you had to do was just take her and you fit right in.
When you went to prison in 72, before you got out, what anti-Crip gangs were you locked up with at the time?
Mostly bounty hunters, brims. Actually, that was basically it, really.
No Denver Lanes in Athens?
The only Athens part that at that time that I recognized was Ronnie Walker.
How about Swans?
No Swans.
All right. Now...
Oh, Bishop.
Bishop.
Yeah, I had one Bishop partner named Joey Tolbert. He was there with me.
When do you first learn of a gang called Bloodstone Villains?
At that time, they were a part of us, and it didn't exist in my mind then. So I heard about Bloodstone Villains somewhere like in the 80s or maybe in the 90s. I'm not certain.
So you don't know where the name Bloodstone comes from?
There's a theory, man, that someone said that they took that and ran with it when that group Bloodstone came out. So that's a theory that I've heard. I can't confirm it.
Was there any Black P Stones or City Stones locked up with you?
No.
Inglewood family?
Now, see, back in that point in time, as far as the jungle, I encountered the people who are now called the Bloods now as brims. I was introduced to them on August Street by a guy named Big Country in Elgin. See, me and Elgin and Big Country were together, and we all rolled over to the jungle together. And I'm sure Elgin can confirm that statement because we were together. That's when I had first met Elgin through Big Country.
So, when you get out of prison, you recognize that there's bloods on the street now?
I put it to you like this. What we had done while we were in prison was showed if we pursued that which we were supposed to be representing to the fullest, that we would be respected. And just by me demonstrating that act, with the help of those who supported me because I had the courage and the heart to represent myself, regardless of what I was in there for, it frees a person's mind and kind of like help calm his fears. And it makes them recognize that the challenge ain't so bad if you stand up. And people begin to stand up and perform. And basically, shit, it started becoming like, damn, a trend that made people proud to be where they say they were from instead of being afraid to admit where they were from. It flipped over from being afraid to being proud. You know what I mean? And you had to work for it, though. It just didn't come to you. You just couldn't represent and start talking shit. You had to get out. And a lot of times, you get caught in some bad situations and get whooped up. But if you return to fight another day, that's when your respect start being considered. Because they know when you come, you just be ready. Because you're going to get into a fight. And they accept that, and they recognize that. Believe me, things start calming down, and people start being less aggressive towards you. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, the alliance got stronger. And after when people got out of prison and started returning to their primary places where they were naturally from, they took that home to their neighborhoods. And it also encouraged the neighborhoods. You see what I'm saying? Because like a lot of times they have functions and the Crips would bully those functions when nobody else can get in. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, all the Crips at the time were united and they were very, very strong. And the numbers was just astronomical to me. It was just, it just seemed like, man, people could whoop that force of the police because they were really, really big. Half of them didn't care if they got into the function. They surrounded the function. You know what I'm saying? That's how big that Crip gang was. It was really, really big. It was a real big gang. I don't think nobody's gang been bigger than the Crips gang. But it became a lot intelligent of those of us who took a whole lot of pride in our own personal sets to set that boost pride, let that pride go, man, and become allies with other non-Crip gangs. You know what I mean? And we got a universal language that we all using now, just like the Crips using cuz. We was using blood. And instead of us calling out our neighborhood, we say blood. That way, it makes all one and the same. You know what I'm saying? It's because if I say bounty hunting, and if you say bounty hunting, I say Power River, somebody say Brim, the moment those little neighborhoods start getting heavier than others set, our way, somebody want to take the credit for it. If it wasn't for us, y'all wouldn't be shit, or that kind of shit. So, but we all became bloods, just to eliminate all that set tripping, and just so we could function. And it became like a natural thing. You know what I'm saying? For a long time, you couldn't see us fighting each other, tripping and killing each other, none of that shit. We wanted for them, what we wanted for ourselves. Everybody became homies. And it really tied us together, and wasn't on their head, that set tripping and shit.
So, wasn't you locked up with Dirty Red from Inglewood?
I was out there with Nasty Ed.
Nasty Ed. Okay.
Nasty Ed. Nasty Ed. He wasn't no real big dude, but he came in with a heart. I mean, he was not going to be denied his privilege to, his chance to let it be known. He's from Inglewood family. He represented to the fullest, Nasty Ed did.
So do you believe when he left you and went back to the streets that he took blood to Inglewood?
Yes, of course. No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Just like Johnson George, San Diego. Took that out there.
Where was he from?
He was San Diego, but when he was in jail with me, it's hard to say, but I'm sure he was claiming power.
Okay.
But I think when he got out, I think he got with the Brims or something like that. Because Big Country had also moved out there, San Diego.